everybody, welcome back or welcome to the YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be going over all of the D-Day related relics and memorabilia in my World War II display, because as you know, today, June 6th, is the 82nd anniversary of D-Day. And I have these two displays there and there, showcasing my relics and memorabilia from D-Day and Normandy. Not everything is from a D-Day battlefield specifically like Omaha Beach, but everything you see in those two displays that I just showed are from Normandy. But like I said, today's video will be focusing on just the D-Day related items. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off, this M1 Garand clip right here. Yes, it's a clip, not a magazine. The technical definition is actually a clip for this. But this clip here was found on Omaha Beach. I'm not entirely too sure what sector, but you know, I'd imagine a bunch of these were dropped on Omaha Beach. The average American soldier on D-Day carried around 10 to 12 of these, which was around 80 to 96 of those little bullets right there. Of course, just imagine the shell case attached to it. Obviously, this one isn't in the best condition, but since it was in the ground for so long, it's really not that bad. It still has its shape. It's bent a little bit. Of course, I don't know if it was spent through a rifle. I would imagine it was, though, since there's no ammo in it. Anyway, moving on to these bullets here. On the right, like I mentioned, is a 30-06 Springfield, which was used by the M1 Garand. And on the left is a 50 cal, which was used by the iconic M2 Browning. Both of these bullets were also recovered on Omaha Beach. Again, I don't know which sector, but I'd imagine, you know, millions of these were fired on Omaha Beach. Now quickly moving up here, I have sand from all of the beaches. I never visited the beaches, I bought them though, but I do plan on going in the future. And they're all lined up in the order of the beaches like they were if you were looking at a map. Starting off with Utah, then Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and then Sword, of course. And now moving down just a little bit, we have these four patches here. This one here is a 16th Infantry Regiment patch, which was the regiment that landed in the first wave of the Omaha Beach landings. And then the 1st Infantry Division, iconic Big Red 1. And that was, of course, the infantry division that landed on Omaha Beach. It was the 16th Infantry Regiment of the 1st Infantry Division. And now moving down, we have the 82nd Airborne, and then 101st. Now I'm pretty sure these three here are original. This one I'm only a little sketchy about because I bought it a long time ago and I don't think it's original. The white backing is throwing me off a little bit, but it just looks too new and like finely sewn on there, you know. And like I said, I bought it at a reenactment event a long time ago whenever I was pretty young. I can't remember if he said it was original or not. But all three of these, I'm pretty sure are original. I don't know if they're uniform cutoffs or what. This one has some type of like sticky backing on it, like it was put in a photo album. And then this one's still very wobbly, so pretty original one. I like this one. As you know, all of these are pretty iconic divisions and regiments of the United States military during World War II. And I feel like these are pretty cool to have in my display. I can't really find much relics besides those, so these kind of bring it together fairly well. Now moving on to the last pieces in this display are these three pictures here. These two here and here are aerial photographs of the aftermath of the bombardments that happened on June 5th, D-Day -1, as you can see at the bottom there. And you can see just all of these crater holes and the beachfront, actually. That's not a beach that they landed on, but still pretty cool to see. And then the very southern point of Boulogne there. And if anybody knows what that means at the bottom right, please let me know. I'm not entirely too sure. I think that means that they're about 23 miles away from Boulogne, but I don't think so. I have no idea though, so let me know. I have no idea exactly where this was taken. I've tried to geolocate it a handful of times, but I can never find the spot. But yeah, that's the cool thing about this one though, because all you have to do is look up Calais on Google Maps and you're gonna see it, because it still basically looks the exact same with the waterways there. And now this photo here shows casualties on a landing craft getting ready to be transported out of France. I think it's around D-Day +1 or 2. I'm not entirely too sure though. But the cool thing about this photograph is that you can see this soldier here wearing a 101st Airborne Division patch. Now moving on to the German side of my World War II display. Starting off with this Kar98 bayonet right here. It was found in Sainte Mere Eglise. Still has some of the wood on it, which I find pretty cool. And you can see still, of course, where they'd attach it onto the rifle. There you can see the back. The wood is kind of rotted off, not fully, but mostly. The rest of the blade is still very rusty also, but you know, it's been in the ground for such a long time, it's just gonna get like that. You can't really do much about it. But you know, considering it's been in the ground for so long, at least I have it here where it's not rotting anymore, you know. But it's pretty cool having a Kar98 bayonet, especially from Sainte Mere Eglise, one of the more iconic towns that was liberated on D-Day. And of course, don't know the fate of the German soldier that had this Kar98 bayonet here, but we can just theorize because it's history. It's fun. Now moving on to these relics here, these shell casings and dog tag. A cool little fact about these two relics before we start is that both of these were found in the same bunker. At least that's what I was told by the guy that sold it to me. And I do have pictures of that bunker. I'll show it now. But that's a cool little fact about these, because these being in the same bunker together means that the soldier that had this dog tag might have fired these bullets. Starting off, these shell casings could very well be MG42 or 34, but that could also be Kar98 because they use the same exact shell casing. I'm not entirely too sure which they would be, honestly, but a common way to tell that I was told is to check for the crinkles on the heads of these. This would be pushed in, you know, and none of mine have that, but mine does have this here. I'm not sure if it's put on there just from after the war or if that was a dent made by the rifle itself. But yeah, no dent on these, because the dent would happen whenever the gun was just firing so fast it would, you know, dent it. I don't know exactly how it would happen, but the gun was just firing so fast it would make that happen. And here's the stamps of them. That one's not very readable. And that one is that was the best one. Now moving on to the final relic in this showcase, which is this dog tag here. Obviously completely unreadable. It looks about the exact same on the other side. But the cool thing about this dog tag is that obviously it is a whole one. But that means that the soldier likely surrendered to the American forces on D-Day, because these were meant to be broken off whenever the soldier was killed in action. One half was kept on the body and the other half was taken as a, you know, record keeper, basically. But like I said, this one being whole means that the soldier dropped it. Again, that doesn't mean, you know, he really surrendered, but it being whole means that he likely didn't die, I think. But of course, I don't know for sure. That's the cool thing about history. You can just theorize, make things up, because you never really know. But let me know down in the comments below what you think. Did this soldier die? Was he the one that fired these bullets? Or did he surrender? But that will be it for today's video of going over all of the D-Day relics in my display for the 82nd anniversary of D-Day on June 6th. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did. Be sure to turn on post notifications for whenever the next video comes out. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.